told them to remember their perimeter plays and always be ready to rotate their defense. As Coach Sandy Arespa-Cochaga put it, di pa tayo tapos. Eric and Luigi.
Thank you, Jessica. That's, of course, good job by the coaching staff of Ateneo to point out that, you did a good job in the first quarter. We're up by 18 to end the first, or maybe that first half, but our job doesn't end there.
Well, that's coaching for you. He's gonna make them double kayod pa. They want him to work doubly as hard and extend that lead.
Tough shot for Reyes, trying to go away from two Blue Eagles. Lee can't knock it in off the glass.
You just don't see the toughness right now of UE without Pari Llagas, and they sorely miss him.
And speaking of UE, let's check in with Tip Atendido on the Samsung courtside update.
Yes, Eric, this might be the last time that we will go head-to-head against the Blue Eagles, so please let's win this. Team captain Elmer Espiritu talked to his teammates. He said, kaya pa natin to, ilaban pa natin. He also told Erwin Duran about the technical foul. Hayaan mo rin kanina, okay lang yun. Back to the ballgame. Coach was frustrated with the Warriors' execution. No more forced shots, drive hard, and go back to your defense. Let's try to recover and finish this ballgame with our heads up high.
Good afternoon, viewers on Studio 23 and of course on Balls HD channel 166. You're watching the main event of Thursday Thriller. 50-34 Ateneo on top over UE. UE led by as much as 5 in the first quarter. Strong power move here from PS Bank. Sip na lang maaasahan, courtesy of Elmer Espiritu.
Ateneo has taken out the Warrior in UE, and they've played exceptional defense so far.
Lee has struggled against the defense of Kirk Long. See him miss there again as Kirk Long was right in his face.
That's the beauty of having a Kirk Long. If you would think about it, I'm sure a lot of people out there think that he doesn't hit the good jumper as much, and once in a while he brings the ball over. But what he gives you is a guy who plays good defense and stays in front of the offensive player. And notice Paul Lee's shots, it's all been jump shots, fadeaway jump shots.
Banglao at 15. Dishes it to Long. Now Salamat with an opening. Salamat trying to go all the way, not against the defense of Zamar. Under 6 minutes remaining here in the third. Ayala denied by Al Husseini. The rookie is getting schooled here by last year's MVP.
It's not the shot you want from Ayala. That's what suffers when you don't have Llagas inside and you don't have the guys who are normally there. Even a Martinez could help. But you have rookies like this taking 4 shots and just like that, getting blocked by the UAAP's MVP.
That shot block from Rexona, used Rexona after every bound. And in the last play, you saw Espiritu try to block the Al Husseini shot, but that was off the glass already. And an offensive goaltend for Espiritu, who has been working like, well, he's the most hard-working Warrior right now on the floor, let's put it that way, as Paul Lee gets a break and knocks it in from the outside.
The first time Kirk Long leads the game, they put Buenafe, Paul Lee scores at Buenafe.
Al Husseini tried to be a little creative and turned the ball over by a traveling violation.
That's one thing that Ryan Buenafe has to improve on. Here you notice the jump shot, the three-pointer by Paul Lee on Buenafe. Buenafe has, my feeling is, if he's going to stay in the game, he has to show Moods Nomenclac that he can play defense. If he's playing defense, he stays.
There he strips Paul Lee, as you saw repeatedly the shot from three-point area by Lee on our Smart Instant Replay. We're helping sports. Clear precision stop now. So clear man, no dandruff, just cool hair. The strip by Ryan Buenafe. Quick hands he's showing, but laterally, I think what you're talking about here, Luigi, is laterally, Ryan Buenafe is one of those guys that just can't keep up with, faster players.
He plays an old man's game, kumbaga gulang. He likes, if you pass the ball, he's going to take that passing lane and get the steal. He knows how to tip the ball, but I think he has a problem against the quicker guards who try to attack the basket. He'll learn in time.
That was very evident in the Ateneo game versus La Salle, where Joshua Webb just made Buenafe look like he was standing still on every offensive possession by the Green Archers. The hook shot there by Al Husseini trying to fish for the foul. There is a whistle on the play. We'll try to clear where the foul came from. Ayala, Garrick Ayala will be called for the foul. And Ayala will get a rest as Erwin Duran checks back in for the Red Warriors, and Salva will replace Baclao. Under 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Salamat posting up against Zamar, and there's going to be a foul down low from Zamar.
Ateneo plays a very pro-type game where they are superb in the half-court set, and they'll look for the mismatch. Make no mistake about it. You have to be ready to play defense. A good defense that time by Zamar.
And a little bit of an acting job.
But I like this guy's spunk. I mean, he came in the first half and he played well. You know, the few times he's been in, he's played tough defense. Obviously, it's hard when he's backing up Paul Lee. So his turn will come.
Zamar picked up by Salamat. High pick by Duran. Zamar gets left behind, and he misses the free throw, the layup, but Espiritu was right there for the putback attempt, but he was fouled on the way to the basket. C2 best cheer of the day. Enjoy the best in life with C2 Green Tea. Not a lot to cheer about for the UE Red Warriors, as they have been trailing by as much as 20 in this game, but they're fighting back. They're not the Red Warriors for nothing.
You know, in the incursions in the lane of the guards, they miss Llagas there, because when you have Llagas and Espiritu, it's very hard to check both when you're helping out defensively. But because of the drive, let's say by a Zamar or let's say by a Paul Lee, there's no Llagas to position and find that open spot. Duran is not as effective.
So UE really hurting with the one-game suspension of Barry Llagas.
Don't look now. Credit UE. From a high of 20 at the start of the third, it's only down to 13. And Zamar can bring it down.
Espiritu for the putback.
Great resiliency by the Red Warriors.
18 points now for Espiritu, but on the other end, no coverage against the big man Al Husseini. And he puts in a basket for two. Timeout from Samsung. Imagination lives. Here's our Caltex fast break. Caltex with the unbeatable cleaning power of Techron. Biggest man on the floor, running the break and finishing it to give Ateneo a safe 13-point advantage. And I can hear the crowd behind us shouting, begging Ateneo to not allow this lead to go down any further, because, you know, they get a little scared.
Well, good for UE. I mean, I credit them. Without Llagas here, they're only down by 30. That's very manageable. Question, can they close out with 2 minutes and a half? Can they bring that lead to 10, which is a more manageable lead to come back from?
High pick by Al Husseini. Jai Reyes gets open just a little bit. Salva is blocked by Espiritu. Al Husseini, just unrelentless, finishes on the turnaround. 19 points now for Rabah Al Husseini. Remaining in the third quarter. Reyes trying to blow by Salamat. Lee for three. Emphatic rebound there by Rabah. 6 rebounds already for Al Husseini with 19 points on 8 out of 13 shooting from the field. 62% for the big man on the floor.
Maybe Rabah should sprain his other ankle.
Another rejection by Espiritu on Salva. Lee, there are numbers, it seems, for UE on this break. And Buenafe had to commit the foul against the speeding Paul Lee.
That's the second. And on 1 point for Jai
had a hard time keeping in pace with Paulie. I mean, Paulie is quick. Even when he's dribbling the ball, he will outrun you down the court.
Jollibee Yum Doubles duo candidates enjoy the best things in life. Lee gets the first in. And don't look now, I mean, UE is making a run at this huge lead by Ateneo. 5 out of 5 at the line is Paul Lee.
Still a lot of time, but they have to close this quarter well and get some stops. The thing with Ateneo is they've been executing and setting up Raba. I mean, Raba's been field goal wise at close to 60%.
Now, Espiritu, though, is replaced by Acuna Luigi. Let's see if, you know, where UE goes, especially in crunch time against this very formidable Ateneo defense.
This is a quicker team for Coach Lawrence Chongson as Raba rejects Zamar.
Under a minute left in the third quarter. Paul Lee tried to go back door to Reyes, but there is an Ateneo foul.
If I'm Coach Lawrence Johnson, I'm happy right now. I'm down by 13 with a minute to go as we see this block by Raba.
Brought to us by Rexona. Use Rexona after every bath.
No, UE has not given up. In fact, they've been challenged, and I talked about mental toughness for this UE Red Warrior team. Because if they can get Ateneo without Parillagas, like I said, that would be one game above LaSalle and half a game above UST. And they face Adamson, the Falcons, next. You know, they're only down by 13. Sayang, the free throws. Those are 2 huge free throws missed.
49.9 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Sumalino checks back in for Nico Salva.
Coach Norman Black matching up. UE bringing in Acuna and Norman taking out Salva, a legit power forward, and bringing in 4 guards. Buenafe, Sumalino, Austria, and Montfort to match up.
Reyes is all over Eman Montfort. Montfort under duress. Oh, very sticky defense by UE, almost forced a turnover from Ateneo. 8 seconds remaining on the shot clock for the Blue Eagles. They go to Al Husseini. Oh, a gamble by Ayala to steal. That left Al Husseini open for the lay-in.
Normally don't want to reach in because Raba will make you pay. And he has showed his dominance here. He's got 21 big points. He was averaging close to what, 15 a game, 14? Remember, in the start of the first round, he erupted the first 2 games and then he got checked.
Al Husseini averaging just a little under 15 points per ball game at 14.9. And there is a whistle on the play with 1.2 seconds remaining. That's a 24-second shot clock violation, it seems, for the UE Red Warriors.
It's still a lot of time, 1.2 seconds.
A dribble and a shot.
A quick dribble, I would think.
Take a look at this Powerade hyper play of the quarter. Drink up, power up, sports is what you make it. The gamble by Ayala to steal. And that left Al Husseini with an opening to lay it in. Almost got it to fall was Ryan Buenafe as some more seconds were put back into the clock. At the end of the third quarter, it's a 58-43 advantage for the UE Red Warriors, or make that for the Ateneo Blue Eagles over the UE Red Warriors. Jollibee champ of the game candidate, Big Burger goodness like weather. Al Husseini back in form, 21 big markers for Al Husseini. Fourth quarter action when we come back here on Studio 23. Ateneo is on top, 58-43 over the UE Red Warriors as we get ready for our fourth quarter. Hanes cool couple of the game. Hanes, America's #1 brand of underwear. Joaquin Mendoza and Cecilia Davila from Ateneo. Of course, both both teams' pep squads really going at it now as they have only 10 minutes to egg their team on. Take a look at the fans, the students, the alumni all lumped together. Jack and Jill, fantastic moment. Jack and Jill Snacks, life is fun.
Ateneo 13 assists to 2. UE only assists and rebounds. The Blue Eagles spanned the Red Warriors 39 to 23. Also in fast break points, Ateneo 10 to 4. So total dominance so far by the Blue Eagles. But you know, surprisingly, check out the scoring. As bad as the Warriors played, they outscored Ateneo in the third, 13 to 10.
Fourth quarter just underway here at the Big Dome. In case you just tuned in, UE playing without Pari Llagas as he is serving a one-game suspension after that incident with Riel Cervantes of FBU in Sunday's match, while Al Husseini has bounced back from that sprained ankle in that game versus LaSalle and has performed splendidly for Coach Norman Black.
You know, the hard thing for Raba was at the start, the first 2 games, it was just single coverage. And then the other teams started to double team him, like Adamson, like some of the other teams. And he struggled. He's had to get guys in a flow. In this game, he's back in his flow. And, you know, no double team. Thank you. I'm going to take advantage of that. And I'm going to pound it inside. And, you know, he's very good also at reading defense. When guys collapse, he kicks it out.
Al Husseini on the high post. Al Husseini can't seem to do no wrong today.
Not only him, guys have, you know, he has played exceptional offensively, but defensively, Ateneo as a team has not allowed as many penetrations and as many mistakes. That's why they've gotten this big lead.
Paul Lee with 13 points. But UE really struggling without a solid big man defending Al Husseini. It's been a mix between Ayala and Duran defending Al Husseini, but it's not enough as Al Husseini is just displaying everything in his arsenal today. Alaksan FR, power fast player of the game, body pain. Kahit saan, agad dalabang Alaksan FR. He's showing us the full range of his talents, getting points inside, leading the fast break, and shooting it from the outside, fading away. Let's go to our Samsung courtside update from UE with Tiff Atendino.
Lamang. Yes, Eric, sanay tayo sa Lamang. It's now our character that will reveal what type of basketball we will be playing. Coach's reminders. First, I don't want an early penalty. Second, take care of the ball. Look for the easy baskets and execute well. Third, challenge Ateneo's shots. And lastly, we have to make a run. Kaya pa natin habulin to. Eric and Luigi.
Thank you, Tiff. A lot of confidence in the words of Coach Lawrence Chongson. Let's see if that translates to some sort of an action for the Red Warriors.
Fighting words from Coach Lawrence, but you know, why not? They've chipped at the lead. No Pari Llagas inside. The thing for them is they don't have that, how do I say this, angas and that spunk without Llagas inside.
That's
Swagger, exactly. And Ateneo has been very patient at finding the big man here. He knows he's not going to be double teamed.
Finally, you get to see 2 back-to-back misses from Al Husseini. Baclaut diving for the loose ball. 3 white shirts against Rafi Reyes right there. And a held ball situation. Ateneo will get possession via the possession arrow rule. Let's go to our Samsung courtside update first. Luigi, this is from Ateneo with Jessica Mendoza.
Eric, nobody wants to see a lead taken for granted, least of all Coach Norman Black. Relax a little bit, please, he said, pointing out how the Blue Eagles kept forcing shots, allowing turnovers, and ignoring the passing lanes in the third quarter. The team committed 7 turnovers in the last quarter, while only scoring, as you said, 8 points, Eric. Let's play as a team, you guys, Coach said. There's too much dribbling going on. Move that ball around. Eric and Luigi?
Thank you, Jessica. Indeed, UE outscored Ateneo in the third quarter, and that, was enough to wake up the coaching staff and remind these players that, it's not over until the fat lady sings.
Well, he wants more ball rotation, I think. He's saying there's too much dribbling. And the more you pass the ball, the harder it is to defend.
And Austria's experience as a big man in high school for Ateneo paid up big that time as he had to make a shot under duress underneath the basket.
Another thing why Ateneo's been up is passes like that by Baclao.
And that's some aasahan assist from PS Bank, simple lang.
If I'm not mistaken, Ateneo has about 14 assists in the game, which is big as against UE, who hasn't really done you don't feel like the Warriors are in a flow.
But every now and then they get punctuated by a huge shot like that. That was coming from Rudy Linganay. A press here by the Red Warriors. Something they've got to perfect though, at least to LaSalle perfection, because that trapping defense by LaSalle really, forced a lot of turnovers. They do this time, as you see, Espiritu miss the easiest layup he's ever gonna get against Ateneo today.
Well, that hurt right there. No Rabah Al-Husseini inside. This is a chance when they can exploit that. And look at this, he's outstretched and tried to get it, but his momentum was so fast it hit the end of the rim.
That's on our Smart Instant Replay. We're helping sports. He should have just dunked it. Timeout from Samsung. Imagination lives. 62-48 in favor of Ateneo. There's that assist from Elmer Espiritu to Linganay. A maaasahan assist from PS Bank. Simple lang.
Do you want to know how many assists UE has total, Eric, for the game? 3. That was a third assist given. And Ateneo has 14 to 3. So is it a question that UE is not moving the ball a lot? Or do you credit Ateneo's defense that has only allowed UE to settle for fadeaway jump shots?
Amazing stark difference between these two teams when it comes to sharing the leather. Acuna with a steal on Austria. Val Acuna. Even Val Acuna on the easy layup misses. I mean, nothing going right for the Uni Red Warriors. Somebody check that ring if, it's covered or something.
You can't say that UE is not hustling. They're trying, but they're not making those layups, and that should hurt. I mean, Acuna got the steal, and Espiritu sprinted down court for that layup.
Check
but here, let's see.
Here's that steal, the clear precision stop from clear man, no dandruff, just cool hair. Val Acuna was ahead of everybody else, using the left hand, overshoots the mark, and those are 4 points. 1 miss from Espiritu and 1 miss from Acuna. 4 points lost by UE.
That could have brought down the lead to 10 with UE at ball possession right now.
Duran from the outside. When it rains, it pours, but when it's a dry spell, you don't get anything. That is the case of the Uni Red Warriors right now. And that will not count for Eric Salamat as the foul was down low, committed by Val Acuna.
Layup and dip ins. Check this interesting stat. 12 out of 17 for Ateneo. UE 7 out of 20. So this is 71% layup and dip ins by Ateneo. UE is 35%. And those are hustle points. Again, like I said, after a so-so game for Ateneo, you credit Ateneo for beating LaSalle and coming back in OT. But those 3 quarters against LaSalle, they played poorly. Today, they have stepped it up and gotten back to what works for them.
Espiritu for the putback there, courtesy of the assist from Val Acuna. 20 points now for the team captain of the Uni Red Warriors. The kick out by Salamat goes to Al-Husseini for the 2. 25 points now for Al-Husseini.
Just some selfishness by the Ateneo team. And one thing I noticed with Ateneo, it's Ateneo that can hurt Ateneo. Like that game against UP, they were still undefeated. I'm sure some of the players felt like they they were superior. They thought they could get their own on their own, and they weren't moving the ball as fluidly, and they didn't do the little things. They didn't pay attention to detail, and they paid for it. They lost to UP. But in a game like today, when they are on track and they're doing things right, they are very hard to stop.
Take a look at the numbers of Al Husseini today. 25 points in 27 minutes of action. 11 of 18 from the field. 9 rebounds and 2 blocks. As you look at his counterpart from the UE Red Warriors, the center playing in place of the suspended Harry Llagas.
I've always felt that UE is one big away from really dominating in the UAAP. Even during the time of Coach Dito Pumaran, remember they were 14-0. But look at the teams that win championships in the UAAP. Ateneo, Raba Al-Husseini, UST, Jervy Cruz. Ateneo, Enrico Villanueva, La Sala, Don Aliado. You need a center. Even the days of UST, Dennis Espino, you really need a center to really solidify your chances. I'm not taking anything away. Maybe it's been done even during FU's day without a legit center. It was just Isip and Arwin Santos. But it makes life so much easy with a big man like that.
Exactly. And it's the most tried and tested formula, so to speak, having a legitimate big man. As take a look at this rebound by Al Husseini and the attempt to put it in, but the foul committed by Elmer Espiritu. That's his 3rd personal foul. All caught on our Smart Instant Replay. We are helping sports. Tagarda starting 2-guard of UE today.
You know, the next games of these two teams, Ateneo will face La Salle. So it'll be interesting to see how they will go up against the Green Archers after a game like this. And UE, who will face Adamson, which beat La Salle earlier.
Just a one-day rest for all the 4 teams involved today, actually, as they will again see action on Sunday. There is the strip by Paul Lee on Eric Salamat, but Lee, after the shot was taken and was put in, he, I think, sprains his ankle on the, the brace of the backboard.
We can definitely count on Direct Al Neri to give us a slow-mo. Let's check it out. He
falls back on the backboard and falls down and sprains his ankle, it seems. It's his right ankle that's bothering. Can't see it on that replay.
But it wasn't after the layup, so it wasn't on. He didn't step on Eric Salamat's foot.
No, not at all, not at all. He was backing away towards
the yellow part.
Yeah, the post of the backboard. And he sprains his ankle there.
And this will add to UE. Let's hope nothing really happens here to Paulie. Thank you,
he lands nicely here. And as he walks back, can't really. Didn't really get a full shot of that, but you saw a little bit of the twist.
He definitely grimaced once he hit that support, the yellow support, holding up the ring.
So Bandaying took the free throw for him. Al Husseini now guarded by Espiritu. Good repost by Al Husseini, but the long arms of Espiritu poked the inbound pass to him.
You know, the teams that have done well against Ateneo have taken Raba Al Husseini out of the game. They've taken his rhythm away. This is UP, even Adamson and La Salle took him out of his rhythm. So there are 2 ways of having it if you think about it. It's either you double the MVP or you don't and you let him get tired. And today, for the